There was once a merchant whose wealth knew no bounds. Gold overflowed from his coffers, his ships carried goods across vast seas, and his name was spoken in admiration in every marketplace. He had land, influence, and power. To the world, he was a man who had conquered life itself. And yet, he was restless. At night, while his servants slept soundly and his ledgers recorded endless profits, his mind refused to be still. Thoughts swarmed like bees in a disturbed hive. Worries over trade routes, dishonest partners, the rise and fall of markets. His success had given him everything except peace. He tried everything to silence the storm within. He sought the wisdom of great scholars, but their words became more thoughts to dwell upon. He consulted doctors, but no medicine could cure an illness of the mind. He traveled to distant lands, hoping that new sights would ease his troubles, yet his burdens followed him wherever he went. Then, one day, he heard of a man, a sage, who had not spoken a word in 20 years. It was said that he lived in solitude, high in the mountains, far removed from the noise of the world. Some called him a madman, others believed he had discovered a secret that few could understand. The merchant, desperate for answers, decided that he must meet this man. And so he left behind his wealth, his comforts, and his responsibilities, setting off on a journey that would change him forever. After weeks of travel, he arrived at a quiet valley where an ancient tree stood alone, its roots deep in the earth. Beneath its shade sat the silent sage. His clothes were simple, his beard long, and his eyes held the stillness of a moonlit lake. The merchant, weary from his travels, did not waste a moment. He poured out his troubles, speaking of his sleepless nights, his endless worries, his futile search for peace. His words flowed like a river in a storm, rushing, uncontrolled, desperate to be heard. The sage listened. He did not nod in agreement or frown in pity. He simply sat, as still as the tree behind him, his gaze steady. Then, without a word, the sage reached for a small cup beside him. He walked to a nearby stream, filled the cup with water, and returned to his place. The merchant watched, puzzled. The sage lifted a stick and stirred the water vigorously. The clear water turned murky, swirling with sediment. Then, just as suddenly, he stopped and placed the cup before the merchant. The merchant frowned. "What is this?" he asked. The sage remained silent, his eyes never leaving the cup. The merchant stared at the water. At first it was cloudy, disturbed by movement. But as the moments passed, the sediments began to settle, sinking to the bottom. Slowly, the water became clear again, still and pure. Realization struck the merchant like a thunderclap. All his life, his mind had been like that stirred water, restless, clouded, never given a moment to settle. He had spent years trying to control his thoughts, running from them, fighting them, drowning in them. But the answer was never to control them. It was to let them be. Like the water in the cup, peace was always there, waiting beneath the surface. He took a deep breath, and for the first time in years, he did not resist the silence. He did not chase another thought, another answer, another solution. He simply sat, letting everything be as it was. And in that moment, he found what he had been searching for all along. Many of us are like that merchant, always searching, always running, always believing that peace is something we must chase, something that exists somewhere beyond our reach. We convince ourselves that one more achievement, one more success, or one more answer will finally bring us the stillness we crave. But the truth is simple. Peace is not missing. It is not something outside of us. It does not need to be found. It has always been there, beneath the noise, beneath the endless movement of the mind. Just like the water in the cup, all we need to do is allow it to settle. So tell me, dear listener, are you still stirring the water? If this story resonated with you, take a moment to reflect. Have you been searching for peace in all the wrong places? Have you been waiting for happiness, thinking it will come when everything in your life is perfect? If so, know that peace is not a destination, it is a state of being, and it begins the moment you stop fighting your own thoughts and allow yourself to just be. But this lesson isn't just for you. It's for everyone who is struggling, for everyone who feels lost in the noise of the world. If you found wisdom in this story, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who might need to hear it today. You never know whose life you might touch with a simple story. And if you want more stories like this, stories of wisdom, reflection, and deeper understanding, then make sure to subscribe to the channel. Click the bell icon so you never miss an upload. Your support means the world. Like this video to help spread the message, comment below, and let me know what lesson stood out to you the most. I love hearing your thoughts and reflections, and if you believe that the world needs more wisdom, more peace, and more understanding, then be part of the journey. Share this video, spread the message, and let's grow together in wisdom and tranquility. Until next time, stay mindful, stay present, and remember, true peace was never far. It was within you all along. Sparkle